I still think leg locks, if you want to attack the legs, it's still a thing most people are terrified of. So they get that panic response when someone's attacking their legs.
Hmm.
And it's still generally not taught till the upper belt. So it's like if you were to take a beginner and teach him some leg locks, I think you'd probably have the sharpest return on your investment of time. But will it make you a better grappler overall? You still need to develop a well balanced game. So it's
Right.
like I mean, it's hard to explain in terms of submissions. I think like the best way to submit someone is to get them tired, and then they kind of
Right.
quitting and gifting you something. But it might look like a very technical setup, but your ability to fatigue your opponent to a point where they have nothing left is still going to be the best path to submission, where you're basically taking what they give you.
How about like a tiers list? So like if you have a guy who's fatigued, what are the three easiest submissions to hit versus the three hardest? Because like you see in movies, stuff happen all the time. You see these
Oh
crazy
yeah,
like
yeah.
flying arm bars, and obviously it's probably almost impossible to hit some of these things you see in some like the, cinematic stuff. Like, what do you think would be like three top ones you should know and three ones that maybe have been hyped but are kind of shitty?
Oh yeah, I mean, if the guy's already tired, like just presuming he's tired, you've passed and you're in mount position here. I think just applying so much pressure to them that they want to give you the back. Like in MMA, guys will throw some strikes. The guy doesn't want to get hit. He turns over, he gives up the back, presents the back, and then you've got
Mhm.
the best submission there would be like a rear naked. I think any submission that keeps you in top position, so for jiu-jitsu, like an arm triangle or still applying so much sort of smothering pressure that they want to turn, that's nothing will ever beat that, just remaining in top. If you've got a guy tired, he might give you an arm, but he will have good enough armbar defense to maybe take a pop and then you end up on bottom. Or if you go for a triangle from mount, you might end up on bottom. So risk reward, that's a big risk. In MMA, guys go less for those submissions because the risk is greater. If they're in top, they go for an armbar, end up on bottom. Now they can get punched in the head. At
Mhm.
least in jiu-jitsu, guys will do that more because worst case scenario, oh, we're in bottom.
Right.
What's the worst that could happen? So tier list. I mean, if we're talking about submission tier lists, what is your end game? If your end game is to humiliate your opponent, then there'll be a class of submissions that like you're really gonna
Sure.
it's gonna bother them to get hit
Let's just
with.
say you want to win a competition. Like, what do you think are the ones you should master first? And then the ones that are probably, you're almost never going to get in a position to hit this. And even
Whoa.
if you would, it's like very unlikely to work.
I mean, buggy choke it's effective, but it is kind of a crazy one, and it's one that if you got them, they'd be really pissed off in competition. But it's a high risk, high reward sort of move. Heel hooks would still, I mean, it changes over time because it's like someone will introduce a new submission or they'll repopularize something, and then it has an incredible success rate because people aren't prepared for it.
Right.
And then over years of it happening, now people start to understand that and it kind of falls out of favor. So it kind of goes through waves of popularity. Oftentimes it'll be an old move that's repopularized that a generation thinks, oh, it's a new thing. So it goes through it goes through cycles, I would say, of popularity of submissions. And it's what people are least prepared for will have the best success. And that's kind of where the instructional market comes in. You're selling something that has value at the time because people don't remember it or don't understand it.
If I wanted to see the craziest submission you've ever hit, what would I type in?
It would be me against Vinny Margalesh because so this guy was a guy that was notorious for not getting leg locked. And he
Yeah.
used to say heel hooks don't work. And I had a match with him, put him in a heel hook, and he had a spiral fracture of his fibula and his ankle completely dislocated from his leg within
Oof.
like I think 30 seconds. He
Jesus.
didn't even have time to really tap. He just let his leg snap straight away. That's the most disturbing. And he doesn't tap, and it does a full 360.
Oh.
And I could see his bone poking into his skin like I was about to poke out. So that's probably the most disturbing one. Also the most like
Yeah, does it fuck with you? Seeing that kind of thing?
kind of, but it's almost like it's like what's wrong with you? Well, like why are you doing that? Why
Hmm.
would you do that? Like who cares, bro? Just tap.
Right.
Why would you make you do this to me? Like why would you make me do this to you?
Yeah. Damn, dude, that's crazy. So these instructionals, is that the primary way people monetize in the sport? Because the prize money in competition is not. significance.
Yeah, 100%. That's the biggest, the greatest thing to ever happen to jiu-jitsu athletes would be BJJ fanatics because they pay, like people just, it still boggles my mind how much people will spend on instructionals, how many they'll buy. Because obviously they have value. Like you can understand things through the instructionals. They do have value. But it's crazy. I mean, I guess there's a whole new wave of white belts and blue belts all the time, beginners starting, and then buying a bunch of instructionals. And that is going to make them better. Anything you put forth into the sport's going to make you better. But they're all, I guess they're just looking for shortcuts. And at the end of the day, instructionals provide knowledge, but it's not a shortcut. So it's
Right.
like, it is a massive cash cow. And there's also no guarantee that competition success translates to instructional success. Because some guys win competitions in boring ways,
Mm,
ways that you might not want to replicate.
right.
So if you win something like ADCC and you don't submit anyone, no one at home is going to go, oh, fuck, how did you do that?
Right.
You know, so it's like those people will have the medal, but they won't have anything to sell. Like if that guy teaches a seminar, it's like, what are we going to learn? How to just push each other for fucking 40 minutes?
So is it actually hard to find instructionals on certain techniques online because everyone paywalls them? Or is it because, like, for example, and this is probably not apples to apples, but like if I want to learn how to do a stiff legged deadlift, I would just go. Obviously, there are paywalled exercise programs that people buy from, credible creators, but oftentimes you'll still find those same credible creators making the content for free. It's just like packaged differently, I guess. It'll be like, here's literally how to do the lift start to finish. Like, is it actually that hard to learn without it? Or like, what do you get out of it that is
I mean, you could learn it without it. It's just might take you a little bit longer. You know,
sure?
like it's like name recognition, I guess is a form of like it, there's something to it. You know, like if Gordon Ryan goes out there and wins everything, then you're gonna hope that he has the ability to teach that technique.
Mm,
And a guy like Gordon does. But not all of the athletes, especially some of them have a language barrier. Like if you're a world champion from Brazil, but you haven't mastered English,
mhm.
then you're still not going to sell many instructionals because we can't
Right.
understand what you're saying. There's no nuance to how you describe it. So it is mostly paywall. There is a lot of great free information out there, but you'd have to track it down. There's almost too much free content. And you as a beginner, it's going to be, you might find a guy teaching Gordon's techniques identical free on YouTube, but the surest way that you know that it's a quality
Yeah.
technique would be to go to the name rather than
Right.
dig through the sort of endless YouTube jiu-jitsu techniques.
Yeah. What would the earning potential look like for a elite athlete in the sport now compared to MMA, compared to like, well, I guess it's pretty easy to see what it would pay to be in like a professional sport because the salaries are all like public essentially. Like, what does that look like in terms of at the highest level for, I don't know, your instructionals are selling, you have a YouTube presence, like whatever it is.
I mean, I would say six figures. Six figures pretty easy. I mean, for a top 20 guy in the world, I would hope so. But again,
But you're not even sure if a top 20 guy would make 100 grand a year.
yeah, because some of the guys won't do anything else. I mean, here's the thing. It's like he might be the 10th best guy in the world, but he doesn't do any social media. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He can barely understand how to promote a product. He doesn't want to travel. He wants to stay in his routine.
Isn't it kind of wild though? Like when you outlined what it takes to accelerate your progress and be in the gym for that long, and you have to somehow also rest enough, eat a good diet, probably work your 8 hour job, and then also try and build a side hustle of social media.
Of
Like
marketing
I can't,
yourself,
it
yeah.
seems like impossible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better to just pretend to be the second best and spend all
Uh,
your time on social media.
that's funny.
That's a better use of time, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
but nah, some of those guys, man. Like, here's the thing: it's like if a guy's won ADCC and he's still teaching classes at night,
Mm.
you're like, what
Yeah,
did
there's
you
a
win?
disconnect
Yeah,
here.
what did
Yeah.
you win ADCC for? You should be able to monetize like basically an Olympic gold medal. Like, if it has that much intrinsic value, you should be able to monetize
Yeah.
having that into just teaching the techniques one time and release a product rather than run a school. You know what I mean? It should have enough value. But
Yeah.
people, that's a lie people are told. Whereas
Hmm.
like anything, it's like who's better at marketing is what's going to sell, make you the most money.